guys, I just wanted to make a quick video showing how you can use curves to recolor an image. This is especially useful for skin tones. For instance, in this photo here by MWL Photography, as you can see, I've just done some simple sort of skin retouching on the face. I've done a little bit of healing and a little bit of dodge and burn. But as you can see, the shoulder and the neck are slightly more saturated and orangey in tones than the actual face area and the hand. So I just want to bring that more kind of like, more into line with the actual skin color of the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the color sampler tool. If you just go up to the color dropper and scroll down to color sampler, and I'm going to go to an area that's quite close to the area that I want to recolor. So in this case, because it's the shoulder and the neck, I'm going to select an area on the chin. So I'm just going to put one click there, and it's going to come up in the info panel with the red values, the green values and the blue values for that area I just selected. If the info panel isn't showing up, you can go to window and then just scroll down to info and click it there. Right, so now that we have those selections, we can see the red values, the green values and the blue values in the info panel. I'm going to go to the layers panel and I'm going to create a new adjustment layer and go to curves. So just so that what we're doing doesn't show up on the image before I've actually masked it in, I'm just going to select that layer mask there and press Ctrl and I to invert it. So now it's black and nothing will show until I paint on it in white. Now I'm going to actually press the curves icon here, just make sure that's selected. And I'm going to take this hand tool with the arrows, okay? So I'm just going to click that and I'm going to go down to the area that I actually want to work on. So here we have the shoulder and the neck, and I'm just going to put the eyedropper around about there, and I'm going to press Ctrl and Shift and just click once to sample that colour. And what that's going to do is if we scroll down to the red here, you can see it's put a little dot where those red tones are in the image from the bit that I've just sampled. Same with the green and same with the blue. And now if we go back to the red, we can see that the output values of red of that area I just sampled are 162, whereas in the original sample that I took from the chin, the tones were at 189. So I'm just going to put 189 into that output area, okay? And then I'm going to go to green and the output area there. That's going to be 160. As you can see, it says 160 there. And then I'm going to go down to blue, and it's currently set at 97, but we need it to be 135. As I say, your numbers are going to be completely different because each area that you kind of sample the colour from is going to be a different tone. So don't go putting these numbers into your kind of like image because it just won't work. You need to actually take that sample beforehand using the colour sampler tool just to ensure that it's completely uniform and is working from the colours that are already in your image. So now that we have that all sorted and we've made those sort of adjustments to the curve, we can just close down that info panel, go back to the colour sampler, and we can just go clear all, okay, just to get rid of that little dot. There we go. So we've got everything we need on that curves layer. Now we can select the layer mask there, okay? For different areas, you can kind of paint on it with the paintbrush, making sure it's set to white. But because this is quite a kind of like block area, I don't have to worry too much about being precise because I've already masked it out using the pen tool. I'm just going to select that path that I made previously, okay, before I made this video, because I thought that'd be quite tedious just watching me mask it all out. And then I can just go to edit, and I'm just going to fill that with white. There we go. And as you can see, that's made that adjustment for me on that layer mask. Now that's still looking, a little bit sort of like different to the face. Well, it's completely uniform with the face now, but we don't want it to be that strong. So I'm just going to drop the opacity down to about 20%, I'd say. There we go. And that's looking a lot more uniform. I do still need to do dodge and burn on the actual neck and the shoulder, so please ignore the fact that it's, looking a bit funky. I'm just demonstrating how we can get the colours to look, very uniform throughout the image. Now I can go in with the actual brush tool set to white with a low flow. I'm going to put it about 8, ensuring that the hardness of the brush is set to 0 and just making sure that layer mask is selected. And I can go into areas, for instance here by the nose, you can see that there are some kind of like saturated tones of orangey yellow there. So I can just brush on like this onto the layer mask using white, and that's just going to ensure that that colour is going to that area as well. Okay. There we go. So just brushing that on to those areas. You don't need to be too precise because, as say, these sort of like colour differences are quite subtle in this image here. And skin does have some variation in tones. It's not kind of, you know, the same colour all throughout, and be a bit strange if it was. So we do want to keep some of those differences just to add some, you know, realism to the image. Okay, so that's looking quite nice really. Yeah, as I say, you can adjust the opacity to suit, but I would keep it quite low if I was you, just to ensure that it is blending in nicely. I'm just going to demonstrate again how this all works, because there's this image, like, you know, part of this image here, just under the nail, for instance, you can see slightly discoloured there. So I'm just going to sort that out and I'll show you how I did that again. Okay, I haven't actually masked this out either, so you'll be able to see me just paint it straight onto the layer mask. So basically using the same technique as before, making sure that you have, I'm just going to create a new curves layer now. There we go. I'll invert that again. There we go. And making sure that you do actually select the curves, because if you have the layer mask selected, it's not really going to work as well. So, right, I've got the curve selected. I'm going to go into Color Sampler tool and I am going to select this area here, okay? Because that is kind of like the tone that we want to take, just to blend this darker area out. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. So I've got that one sample there, okay? And that's got red, green and blue. So now again, making sure that's selected, the curves tool that is, we're just going to go back into this hand, okay, and we're going to go down to the area that we want to recolor again, press Control and Shift and click, there we go, and that's made the points for us already. So now I'm just going to adjust those again. So for this bit here, it's currently showing at 152 for the reds. I'm going to change it to 205. Then I'm going to go down into greens and I'm going to change that to 180. Then I'm going to go to blues and I'm going to change that to 154. There we go. Okay, close that down. Select the layer mask, again with Color Sampler tool, and just go clear all, just to get rid of that. So now, as I say, all the adjustments are on there, and I can just select the brush tool, set to white, low flow, and 0% hardness. And I can just start brushing that onto there. And as you see, that's going to start bringing those tones more into line and just making it, you know, more pleasing to look at. Getting rid of that oversaturation and everything. Okay, there we go. As I say, when you're doing this for real, just make sure you're being more precise. I'm just doing this really, really quickly just to demonstrate, because if I were to sit here for ages masking everything out and, you know, making sure it's completely pristine and perfect, it'd take forever. So it's quite a bad habit really, but I'm just, you know, kind of just demonstrating exactly how you go about using this. So just turning that off and on, you'll see that that's kind of brought those more into line. I'm just going to drop that opacity down again, because you really don't want it to be too strong. You just want it to, you know, really kind of blend everything together. Okay, so now I'm just going to change those. I'm going to put this to nail. There we go. And I'm going to rename this one to neck. There we go, because it's always good to be organized and have everything, labeled, just so you know exactly what you've done. And put this to recolor. There we go. And then if I just turn this off and on, you can see what we've done. Nice and simple. And it's just a really quick, easy, interesting way to change the colors and ensure that you have that uniform look across all your images and there's no oversaturated areas or weird funky colors going on. Okay, so I hope that was helpful and useful for everyone. I am going to be making more retouching tutorials and videos and things on my channel. I'll be doing kind of, speed retouches. I'll be showing tips and tricks and all sorts of different things. So please make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up, because it really helps me know what kind of content to make and everything. And yeah, okay. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.